Hello everyone and welcome to one of the most requested videos I have ever gotten, and that is a tattoo tour video. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'll basically just put like videos of my tattoos so you can see them, and I'll just have a little chin waggy about them. I guess we'll start with my first tattoo that I ever got. It's on my wrist. It is like a little paint splash of tie-dye. A lot of people think it's watercolor, which like I guess it's kind of like similar style to watercolor, like with no outline, but I specifically wanted it to look like a tie-dye print. I'll show you some pictures of like when I first got it as well, so that like I can explain. But basically like the colors have faded hella. I mean, this is bound to happen with color tattoos that don't have an outline, so I'm not surprised. Like I knew it was going to happen, but I wanted it anyway. Like I don't care that it's faded. Honestly, the more tattoos you get, like the less you care. You're just like, yep, that's there, I got that, okay. I still like it. The yellow has been the one that's like come out the most. Yeah, it's super faded. It's basically just like all you can see my skin straight through the yellow. The other colors have stayed. Still a lot of fading has happened. Also, I wasn't very smart at the beginning during the healing either. Like basically maybe a week after I got it, I went straight to Europe in the summer, so I was in the sun like 24/7, and like I got a lot of sun on that like immediately, so that didn't help to begin with. Not that I noticed the fading initially, but like over time it's definitely faded a lot, and I know that wouldn't have helped. The next tattoo that I got was my Pulse album art. So it's a Pink Floyd album. I didn't necessarily get it because that is my favorite album, although I love Pink Floyd. I got it because that is my favorite like album artwork. It's by Storm Thorgerson. I could be saying it wrong. I just say it in the syllables, Thorgerson. He was very well known for a lot of his album art, and I am obsessed with like all of it. I'm a big fan of surrealism art, and that is like exactly that style. That just like was the perfect fit, and honestly I feel like it's one of my favorite tattoos, even though I can never see it. Even though I can never see this tattoo, whenever I see pictures of it I'm like, damn, that's a sick tattoo. The artist added a few little bits just to make it more her own, which I was totally fine with. Like I get it, like a lot of artists don't just want to like take something straight from someone else. She just added her little twist by adding like a moon in and like some like parts of a circle. I honestly think it's something like that. I haven't seen it in a while. When I go through the footage, we will see if I was right about that. On my body, no clue what it looks like. That was always one of my absolute favorite spots for a tattoo. I remember seeing Audrina from The Hills with like the position of her tattoo, and I was like, that is the sickest tattoo I've ever seen in my life. And I look back at her tattoo now, I'm like, it's not like the coolest tattoo I've ever seen, but the positioning of it just makes it like my favorite ever. After I saw that, I was like, I need a tattoo there. And that's why it was one of my first ones. After that, I got some fingy tattoos. These were just like spur of the moment tattoos. I always wanted to get some on my fingers, but this just happened. I was at Surfers Paradise. If you are from Australia, you probably know where that is. It's on the Gold Coast. I guess it's like Vegas of the Gold Coast, not like anywhere close, but that's what people compare it to. And I was there for like a friend's birthday. We were walking past a tattoo shop, and I was like, I really want to get some tattoos on my fingers. And my friends were like, yeah, we'll get something as well. And went in and just got it. And that was the dumbest idea ever. Like I would never ever say to someone just like do walk-ins. I would never do a walk-in ever again, only because like I would always want to research the artist that I went to. The previous tattoos I had researched, I was just like, fingers, how fucking bad can it be? How badly can they fuck up? Turns out fingers, they can fuck up really badly. Mine aren't badly fucked up, but like some can get super scarred and blown out and look like so bad. I mean, there is a fuck up in it, but honestly I don't really care. I mean, you'll probably notice the fuck up, but I might make another video about like my tattoo troubles, some things that went down when I've either gotten tattooed or afterwards, or like just my experience with getting tattoos, some like shitty things that happened. A part of this one would be one of them, but I'll get to that in another video because that's not the premise of this video. we're sticking to the tour. We're sticking to what the bloody hell I have. Oh, right. What are they? So I have a Heartogram, and a lot of people think it's because I love him, or HIM, however you want to say it, like the band. It's not that I don't love him. It's that I got it more so because I was always obsessed with like Jackass, Wild Boys, Viva La Bam, everything that came out of the Jackass franchise. I was so obsessed with. And I mean, a big thing that you see in a lot of the shows is the Heartogram. I guess because like Bam had it on his skateboards, and him were in Viva La Bam a bunch as well. And like Steve-O obviously had his like tattoo that was the dick Heartogram, and it said like me. I wanted to get it because like, one, it's a sick symbol, it looks cool, and it's like great for a finger tattoo. It's just like the perfect thing to put on your finger. And I just want to show everyone how much I fucking love Jackass and Viva La Bam and Wild Boys and CKY. I just loved those shows so much. Like that is entirely what I grew up on, and I was so in love with like every single one of them. Johnny Knoxville, Stan though for life. I mean, he was also the reason I like wore Converse and aviators. It was so cool. His style was everything. They were everything. It's not because I love Right Here in My... And the other one on my finger is the Under Oath symbol. They are one of my favorite bands, and it's like a cool symbol. So I was like, sick, we doing that. Not much else to it. I love how the deepest meaning of all my entire tattoos is the fact that I love Jackass. I'm so fucking deep. And it's like the smallest tattoo I have as well, and the shittest tattoo. And then I got like my Space Galaxy piece. It's based off Saturn, so it's like the shape, the rings of Saturn, but obviously it's pink. I always wanted a space tattoo because I was like, space is just so mind-blowing and mind-blowingly beautiful that I was like, I need to have it on my body. And I always thought it would like make a sick tattoo. And I'd seen heaps of space sleeves, and at the time I was like clearly getting a lot of tattoos that weren't like always visible, if you can't tell. Like I got my wrist, but like that doesn't count, like it's so tiny. I was just sticking with hidden things. Just wanted something sick, trippy. If you can't tell, I love like psychedelic art, just trippy, surrealist, like weird. I wanted all of that. So my feet tattoos, a little fairy garden. It's a little fairy blowing bubbles. I actually got inspired to get that one because I was in America and I went to this like sick, like, I guess it was kind of like a doof shop, like a festival kind of store. And I went into like the blacklight room, and they had all those blacklight posters, and I saw this one that had like, I can probably find it. I was like, oh, this is so sick. I bought it and I like had it framed, and I would look at it like every day on my wall, and I was like, I am so obsessed with this art. Like it is so pretty, so cute. I love that she's blowing bubbles. It's like, just explains me, like a little fairy weirdo being a little kid blowing bubbles. I just was like, I need this. And then I was like, I want my feet to match, so maybe I'll get like little toadstool / mushies, so that it's like her little fairy garden. And it's funny because you can tell it's like the only tattoo that my mum, like, she goes, oh, I just love it. She mentions it all the time. She'll be like, oh, I just love your feet tattoos. They're really pretty. They're really nicely done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the rest of them are fucking dog shit. Thank you. Sorry, Mum. I know she's watching this. But like, it's just funny because it's like a tattoo that anyone who has no exposure to tattoos whatsoever, they're clearly not interested in tattoos. Tattoos aren't their thing. Sorry to say it, but like a lot of very basic people will like mention it and they'll be like, oh my God, I love these. They're so cute. They're probably like the most non-confronting tattoos that I have. So most people are like, oh, those are really pretty. Won't say a damn thing about anything else. Hates every other tattoo. But it's like those ones, it's like a cute little fairy and a little fairy garden with toadstools. Like, yes, very easy to like. Other tattoos, bit weirder, bit harder to like. I mean, I love them all, so that's all that actually matters. I just find it funny that if I get like a pedicure or something, the people will mention it every single time. Like it's always like, oh my God, I love these. And I'm like, I clearly have other tattoos, but you hate them. Thanks a lot. And then after that, I went and I got a forearm piece. I found a really good color portrait artist. I liked the look of black and gray as well, but I didn't want just all black and gray because that's just not me. I needed color, but I didn't want to be that person who was like, I'll get the lion with the blue eyes, which is really hard. And it's really hard to convince artists to do something like that because it's like, oh, like it's gonna look shit. And like, you can just tell they don't want to do it. Fair. They know what they're doing. And I sent him a bunch of reference pictures of different color and black and grey portraits. And he was like, yeah, we can definitely do that. And I wanted neon down on my wrist. So my neon definitely doesn't look neon. A lot of people make the comment like, is your wrist burnt? Fucking rude if it were burnt, you dogs. I don't care because it's not. It's just a big old pink wrist. It looks very different to a burn, and also very fucking rude to anyone who would have a burn. Like, if that was a burn, you're lovely just pointing that out, but it's meant to be neon. And I sent so many reference pictures of the neon that I wanted it to look like. And like, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing artist, but like, it did not work. I never thought I'd get lyrics, but I ended up getting lyrics. But it's because there's a long story behind this, and I feel like it's not really something I would explain. But I got Paradise Is in My Soul. It's from Nihilist Blues by Bring Me the Horizon. I got the glasses in color because I thought it looked super like trippy. That song reminded me a lot of like 90s trance music, and it just like fit in so well because it was like, she looks like she's in a trance. It's Penny Lane from Almost Famous. Go and watch it. Great film. The meaning behind this is I'm clearly a groupie. Next, I got my back piece. There's a lot to say about the back piece. I love it. It's beautiful. It's an ornamental piece, like floral, and I always wanted a back piece. I always like thought back pieces were like so bloody divine, and they so are. I love them so much. I could have decided earlier to just go for a back piece instead of getting like the one in the middle that I already had, but I think the artist worked the other piece that I already had into it really well. But there's a whole entire story time around that tattoo. Yeah, don't even know where to start, but it's not going to be in today's video. If you would like to hear that, I can tell you. It will not be pleasant, but I can tell you. So then I went for the sleeve. Between getting my forearm and like getting the rest of my sleeve, a lot happened. COVID happened to begin with. So that like put a big halt on me continuing getting my sleeve. I also moved as well. I ended up going with dot work, ornamental, and like some black work in there as well. There's like a little bit of everything. After I'd moved, there was an artist who was living in the city that I was living in. And I was like, she does this like basically perfectly what I wanted, and would do color and like dot work, and I've just never seen anyone else do that, and I was like, I gotta get this. So it's like layered tattooing, so the color went down first, and I needed some way for the wrist to sort of like blend into the rest of the tattoo, so this was a perfect way to do it, to do like a gradient on my wrist. And it worked so well. The color shading went down first, like both the top and the bottom, and then the dot work was done over it. So you can see, like, peek through and see the colors through the dot work. I think it's so sick. So I wanted them to be really like flowery dot work. So they're kind of like flower mandalas sort of thing. I was never like, oh my God, I need mandalas or anything like that. I wanted something dot work, florally, and mandalas fit into that very well. And then it was just like a geometric pattern in between, because you've probably seen, I could have got the Flower of Life, which like I love, don't get me wrong, I think it looks so sick, but like everyone has the Flower of Life. Pretty much if you have a geometric sleeve, you have the Flower of Life on there somewhere. And she was like, I made this pattern up and I've been waiting to use it on the right sleeve. And she was like, this is perfect for it. And it works so well with the rest of the sleeve. I've got some ornamental pattern, and I've got like these patches of color in there as well. This artist was perfect for doing it because she could just make it something weird and trippy. And I was like, I want it like psychedelic looking dot work. I honestly don't even know how to explain the style that I wanted for this sleeve, but I wanted a bit of this and a bit of that. There's still little bits that can be added to, like in my inner bicep. I just think it's so different to anything I've ever seen, and that's exactly what I always wanted in my sleeve. So I completely forgot to talk about this tattoo, probably because I've blocked the entire experience out of my memory. It's just some pretty looking leaves that I thought looked sick there. And I mean, they do. I love it. It's beautiful. But yeah, was never going to get this tattoo. I hope you enjoyed my tattoo tour. And if you would like to see some more videos about my tattoos, there's a lot I can talk on about all of them. Like, I've got stories for probably each and every single one of them. So let me know about that. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and give this a like if you enjoyed it. And I'll be back very soon. Bye.